And I'm so glad that you guys are here to join me on my first show. Thank you for liking my page. Thank you for, just your support. I really appreciate it. Next week, we'll be talking about domestic violence, and that's okay. Things didn't go as we planned, but today we're going to get online with my producer, and I'm going to let you guys get to know more about me. So, no further ado, Leanna.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see
Oh
you.
my gosh, Elsie, congratulations on the premiere of the show.
Thank you so much, Leanna.
I just feel like I know that we wanted to start out with domestic violence, but maybe we just like chill and back up a little bit and get to know you because like you're the heartbeat of this show. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yes, and I feel like first things we could start out with is just sort of like how we know each other and how this whole show came to be because Elsie, you are a whole show in and of yourself.
Thank you, thank you. I take that compliment.
Yes, yes. So how do we know each other? Tell your viewers.
Well, me and Anna know each other from elementary school, okay? And we just basically like did like this big reunion. All of us, imagine sixth graders, oh my God. So we get together and, I talked to Liana on the side and she.
No, but you have to tell people we actually had a Zoom elementary school reunion, and that was your idea
Oh, yeah,
to
it
to
was.
change
I
it
don't
to
want to take
Zoom.
all the credit though. I don't want to take all the
No,
credit.
I know you can't, but I'm just saying, like, so here we are, we're adults. We haven't seen each other since sixth grade,
Right.
and we're all catching up. And I just remember you were so funny in sixth grade, and you're like the same person. Like you were like
I'm,
singing Backstreet Boys, writing like
I'm still
jokes.
like that. I'm
Yeah,
still like that. I'm still
and there
like
was like we went to private school, Christian school, and they
Yeah.
had like, do you remember the prayer request board? You were like making jokes all over the prayer request board, and I was like, I like this person, right?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh. And so to see you all grown up and to see that you're like the same person and now you just have like kids who look just like you is crazy.
Oh,
It's
my little
crazy.
minions, the
Yeah.
minions, the minions.
So Elsie, and another thing I learned about you was that you have had a difficult life.
Mm,
Like it's amazing because right now I feel like it's such a you're in a transitional period in your life, and I just think that the world should know who Elsie is, and then also you're really willing to give us a sneak peek, or not a sneak peek, but a window into
yeah,
what's going on. Tell
yes.
tell people about like what's where you are and who you are.
Well, right now, I am in a great place in my life. It took a very long time to get here. I did, like Leanna said, I did go through struggles. And these struggles, everybody go through the same struggles. So it's like, I just want to be real about it. Some people don't like to talk about these things, but I want to be real with it. I want people to know how it is because there's people on the outside, they don't know. They only assume. So, I just want to be real.
But see, the things, Elsie, that you've been through are not things that everybody has gone through.
Right.
They are really serious things, like from domestic violence to drug rehab
Yes.
to government housing. These are
Yeah.
really serious things that not everyone gets to go through. And if I say gets to go through, is
Yeah.
fortunately we have there's things in our lives that take a different track,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it's not always everybody experiencing it, right? And
Right. No,
so
not everyone, but it's
yeah,
definitely familiar.
it's familiar in that we have a lot in common, even if we don't think we've experienced
Right.
each other's
Right.
experiences.
Right.
And I come from a deaf family,
Mm-hmm.
and my job as a sign language interpreter, I have seen into these worlds of domestic violence shelters and of homeless shelters. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a total other. So I feel very. I feel like I wish everyone could see each other in a
Yeah.
more humane light,
Yeah.
because then we would maybe have less fighting and less
Yes.
misunderstanding in the world
Yes.
and less judgment. You know
Yes.
what I
Less
mean?
judgment. Definitely. Yeah.
So Elsie, you have been through domestic violence, which is
Mm-hmm.
why we're starting that episode that way.
Yes.
And I don't want to give it all away, but mostly you how did you end up where you are? How did you end up in the position you are in now? You said you left a drug rehab and then sort of
Yes,
came
I was
into.
gonna. Okay, so basically, because of the domestic violence, it really had me going crazy. I couldn't get settled to where I was at, and I had to actually start all over because that's how it was. So I started over. I went into a shelter. I had to stay in the shelter for at least 2, 3 years before I can finally get my apartment.
Yeah,
And, you
so
know,
so your option was, not to interrupt you, Elsie, but your
oh,
option was to like you had to leave a really bad situation
yes.
and you left with the belongings on your back is what I'm
Mhm.
assuming, right? And then what people don't understand is that when you check into a shelter, now you got to live by the shelter rules,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Yeah.
like a shared, is it a shared room situation? Was
Well,
it
in
a
some situations it was shared room. In some situations you were basically like in a hotel room, basically. So
okay,
to live there, for 2 years,
to live in a hotel room for 2 years? And do you get to keep your kids with you all the time? I mean, do you
Well,
get to
yeah.
keep your kids?
Yes, yes. That was, some good things out of it. They definitely had childcare, they helped with that. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, my child had to go through it with me.
Yeah. Wow. And what a change. And it's not even like, it's not even something that like you did to your child. It's like
Right,
something another person has done and
right.
you got to protect your child by any means
Exactly.
necessary. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so you were in this domestic violence center, you are blah, 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 domestic violence shelter, and was it one
Right.
shelter? Or they had you moving around.
Well, I've been in many shelters, it was a lot. I've been moved around, that's what happens. But at that particular time, that was the last shelter that I was in. So I was there for 3 years.
3 years for one shelter. Okay, that's good that there was some stability there, and how wonderful. And I'm sure that that's instilled in you this
Yeah,
desire to give back, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you're in this domestic violence shelter 3 years. You pop over now to a more permanent but still semi transitional living space,
right,
right? That's where you are now,
yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so here's the thing, Elsie. Here's the thing. I remember at the reunion, we heard all of our successful, classmates,
Hmm.
and there's like a tinge of um, embarrassment that maybe we haven't, and by we, I mean, I'm using the collective we, we're not where we want to be. But
Right,
what people don't realize is that, Elsie, even in your situation, you're not where you want to be.
right,
I live in Los Angeles. I've had some successes in my career. I can say that I've had a development deal with Wanda Sykes and that I've done some things, but you know what? I'm also not where I want to be. And
right.
so there's this common thread of humanity,
Hmm.
right, between us. And we're all still working there. But I'm saying all this to say there was almost a little bit of the chuckling, even though you're laughing, do I sense a little bit of embarrassment that you know what I mean? Like there's that sense of shame. That's what I mean. And I
Yeah,
don't, Elsie, I see you as a bright freaking light. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
No, I
and
get you.
it's when I heard the little bit of shame that I said, "Oh, F that." There's
Yeah,
no shame in the
yeah,
fact and what, and I don't think it was you, Elsie. I think it was someone else who had
yeah, yeah,
multiple children and whatever
yeah,
by
yeah,
different parents, and there was shame. And I thought,
yeah.
no shame. There's
Yeah,
no
there's no
shame
shame in
in
that.
our game.
Right,
And
right.
that's why, and for you to say, you know what, I'm here in this situation in transitional housing. I've been in domestic violence shelter for years. And
Hmm.
for you to say that, and to say it with pride and to be
Yeah,
able to smile about it and say, this
yeah.
ain't where this might be where, this is where I am right now, but this is not where I'm going.
Right,
Right.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's what
We
this
are our
show
worst
is.
enemy, we're our
And
worst enemy. So,
we're our worst critics, our worst
yeah,
enemy. And
yeah,
like, but that's what this show's about. The
yeah,
show is about, so what? We are where we're at. What
exactly,
happened. We got to talk
exactly.
about it
Right.
to
Let's get
grow.
real.
Let's
Let's
get
really
real.
sit down and have this conversation. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's why I'm so excited for the world to like get to know you, because you have so many stories and so many things, and you're still smiling and you're still seeing the good because you know
yes,
this is all
yes,
temporary.
yes, of course.
Okay, so tell everyone, like, what are your topics you want to talk about? Like,
Okay, yeah, all right. So without giving too much out there, so basically the first will be domestic violence, as y'all know.
yeah.
Other
Which
topics,
I love
yes.
that your guest for domestic violence is someone who also experienced domestic violence at the hand of your abuser's brother. Like it
Yes,
was a
I know,
family thing.
I know. And
And
thank you. I'm happy about that too.
and the fact that you're able to bring someone from that part of your life to talk about, to say, hey, were you experiencing, here's what I was thinking, I was so
Yeah.
this, I was like incredible. This isn't just like a, and then also like, I just feel like it's such an interesting guest to
Yes,
have.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
But that's only one of the guys,
Yeah.
okay?
And then we're going to follow it up with a, what else? Go ahead, I'll let you host since
Oh yeah, no. We're gonna follow up with a doctor, known for, in psychology, and also, a relationship expert. And she's just she's amazing, and I can't wait to interview her so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I don't want to tell
Yeah.
you everything.
No, yeah, and it's just so not only I feel like you're gonna guide us through your journey,
Yes,
and you're gonna guide us through not only where you've been but where you're going. You
yes,
know what I mean? It's gonna
yes,
be it's such a cool show concept because it's so real. You know what I mean?
yes,
And Elsie, I've always said that I feel like you make everybody your friend. It
yes.
doesn't matter. Everyone is at ease. And I haven't seen you in a decade, more,
I
20
know.
years.
It's
And
like, look
it
at us
feels
now.
like and the fact that you're able to connect with so many people from such different backgrounds is why I think that this is going to be special too. And so I feel very honored to be coming on just and if I don't Elsie, like just helping you know that you got it. You know what I
No,
mean?
and I appreciate that, Liana, because it was, you're the one that planted that seed. You know what I mean? Or if not planted it, you watered it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And that's what, as people, we need to do for each other.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's awesome.
Exactly.
I'm happy that you and me are able to, do this together, and, it's going to be
Yeah.
great.
I
It's going to be,
agree, and we will let the audience, I guess, know next. So it'll be next week. We're going to really start our episodes.
yes,
And
yes,
if you have any questions for Elsie about domestic violence, you can leave them under this video, and we
yes.
can. And I remember, there's no stupid questions, right?
No stupid
Because there's
question.
people who have never even experienced this, but then there's people who've been touched by it. You know
Yes,
what I mean? And
yes,
then there's people who have been in the abusers, in the being abused shoes, and
yes,
so we have a range here of life experiences, and Elsie's going to be able to like get all of them. You know what I mean?
yes, yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Elsie, you want to close the show?
Yeah, you guys, I can't wait to see you next week. Be ready. Love you guys.
And we'll try to be ready too, because we had some technical difficulties this week, but we are good
Let us know.
natured and our audience is too, and that's what it's all about. But Elsie, we're so excited to see you shine. Thank you for letting people know a little bit about your experience, and we'll jump in here next week. Okay.
Yes,
All
thank you
right.
so much.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.